What is up, boys and girls? I am on the Acedeck ARES X1 today, coming to you from Truckee, California. I think I'm going to start naming these as vlog videos instead of actually just having purely reviews of these electric skateboards, and perhaps talk about my experience riding these works of art. Today, just heading up into Tahoe Donner, hoping to get to the top, which maxes out at 7,200 feet. Truckee starts at about 6,000, so it's about 1,200 feet up the side of the mountain here. Can't really tell with the Insta360 camera, but it is pretty steep. The Acedeck does handle it pretty well, but definitely does not have the same raw power that the Andre Velar or the Lawrence Major can really give you getting up these climbs, nor does it give you the range. But these gear drives are smooth, and the deck is pretty maneuverable. You can kind of cruise around these corners with ease, and the tires do allow some solid grip over all the pine needles and then the wet terrain that I will be going over in a bit. And then just hitting into ski slope here, you can see all the snow starts relatively quickly. This mostly stays in the shade a lot of the time, and that's why there is snow on the road and on the side. Getting a little bit wet. Was slightly worried about the board going through water, but you know, these things are pretty well sealed, so I think unless you're in a major downpour, you don't have to worry too much. But this is definitely where I had to turn back around. It was getting really wet, and the snow was just covering most of the road. And these are street tires, so didn't really want to push it too much. Just a little bit of ice and snow having to ride out over is okay, but when it's just continuous, that's really not a risk that I'm willing to take. At this point, I was pretty impressed with my battery. I still had just about half a battery charge left over, so decided to head back down off a ski slope and then back into Tahoe Donner and do another climb here. This is back kind of up through the neighborhood, almost back up to 7,000 feet, but only about 300-foot climb, which kind of did wipe out my battery a bit, down to about a quarter. But this view here from Tahoe Donner is pretty great, and it's all downhill, so what do I care? It's pretty steep, so kind of don't have to use the motors too much, and regen braking quite a bit, so you get a little bit back, but I find you never really get too much, especially as much as you use up. And then just trying to channel my inner downhill longboarding style, which is kind of non-existent. Just trying to get off the roads as much as I can, hitting the little bike path leading into Truckee. Overall, pretty solid day on the ARES X1. I think I got about 15 miles in. Of course, I keep forgetting to start my Relive app so that way I can show you the exact distance, so it's all just guesstimations because I turn off the board a lot, turn it back on, and then I lose every mileage, of course. That would be a great thing to kind of have these board companies start, is like where you can maintain your odometer for your ride, so every time you turn it off you kind of lose that. That would be a nice addition, but I don't see that coming. So anyways, I got like 3 bars left on the remote. It's really basically nothing, and I am keeping up with traffic and overtaking them a little bit. So that is pretty impressive, especially after riding over 1,000 feet straight up and then coming back down, and another fun day on the board. Trying to ride these suckers every day I can. Alright, we'll see you on the next one.